What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here's Legitical Response. We cover political news, keep you up to date, and keep you informed with everything that the government does, because the government's constantly making moves. And guess what? Congress is out right now, so the government, there's not too much news going on, so we got to cover other things, right? We got to cover Letitia James, the fraud trial. We got to cover polling. We got an election coming up, so we covering all kinds of stuff, and that's what we doing today. We talking about the communist takeover in New York and Letitia James and that whole quote-unquote fraud trial that supposedly Donald Trump defrauded the state, obviously, because that's who's suing Donald Trump somehow, by telling a loan company, hey, I want a loan. I've got these properties, right? And this is what my net worth is. Why don't you go ahead and look into my financials and tell me what you think and how much of a loan you're going to give me? And because his numbers didn't match up with what the bank came up with, all of a sudden that's fraud, right? Even though he told them, and you can go look this up, it's disclosed in Trump's deposition and the bank's deposition that they did their due diligence, and yeah, they told Trump that, yeah, your numbers were wrong, and Trump told them, hey, my numbers could be wrong, look into it. But somehow that is fraud, folks. No, I think this whole trial is a fraud, if you ask me. The judge just ruled summarily, right? There was no looking at the evidence and making a decision, right? There was no trial. There was no jury. It was just the judge saying, yep, he committed fraud. Huh? All because they just want to go after Trump because it's a communist takeover. And guess what? Trump's a billionaire. Oh, here's our opportunity to go after a billionaire and take him for every thing that he's worth. And that's exactly what they're trying to do, right? But we're not going over the squabbles of the trial, I guess. I just wanted to break that down right quick because that blows my mind. That you would tell somebody, yeah, this is what my net worth is, and I'm trying to get a loan from a bank. You tell them, yeah, I think this is what it is, but maybe you should look into it yourself. So the bank does, and then the bank finds, no, you're not quite worth that much. You're worth this much. We'll give you a loan for this amount. Where is the fraud? Let me know down in the comments. Where's the fraud on that? I don't get that one. And as a matter of fact, as we've learned, that's how a lot of investors, that real estate investors, that's how they operate. That is the norm in that industry, apparently, according to Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary's going on CNN, MSNBC, and all these places telling them, this is nuts. This is freaking insane. Y'all are going to destroy the economy of New York. Investors are going to be running away for their lives because they don't want to invest in New York anymore, because now you've set up the precedent for the courts to come after you if you just so happen to not be correct on your numbers. If you think this property is worth this, and then the bank finds a totally different value, they could come after you for fraud on that, and then just make up a number of what they think in their communist head thought that was the total sum of the fraud that was committed that really wasn't committed, right? It's like, how did they come up with that number? That's just what they think. And that number blew my freaking mind. But get this, you guys. Enough of my ranting, right? Trump fraud trial bond drawn into question by New York AG. Yep. That's right. The $175 million bond in former President Trump's civil fraud trial is at risk after the New York Attorney General's office questioned the qualifications of the California-based company that posted it. State lawyers wrote in a brief court notice Thursday that they take exception to the sufficiency of the surety secured from the Knight Specialty Insurance Company, right? So, okay. So they find that Donald Trump has to pay $454 million bond, right? Then he comes back to them after checking into it and says it can't be done. There's no insurance company that can insure this much money. This is insane. It's never been done before. Are y'all out of y'all freaking minds? right? So the judge is like, okay, it's impossible. Yeah, I'm not biased. Okay, $175 million bond, right? So Trump, astonishingly, gets a company to insure the bond for that much money, and now they're like, I wonder if that company can cover it. Are you out of your freaking mind? Are you serious right now? These left-wing nut jobs are just blowing the freaking... They're just ruining their reputations, to be honest with you. Are you freaking kidding me right now? You're going to question if they can handle that much money. But yet, you wanted $454 million bond? Get out of town right now.
Or psychopathic adventurers who are out to cause as much bloody mayhem for their own personal satisfaction, including sadism, as they can possibly manage. And if you don't think there are people like that, you're exactly the kind of idiot they like to prey on.
The trial already was a freaking fraud. We both know that. These nut jobs are just trying to push the boundary as far as they can, it seems like. And they are making people lose their freaking minds, because I can't believe this is actually going on, folks. This whole thing is so unprecedented that people are screaming from the high heavens what is going on with this. And it's just insane that a judge who is supposed to be impartial is going along with all this crap, right? You already have an attorney general who won, who got voted into office on the basis of going after Trump, right? Show me the person and I'll show you the crime. That's what that was. She got elected on that. So now she has to go after Trump on something, right? She has to at least try to take down Donald Trump. And what they found was BS, y'all. And we all know that. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. Some people are blind to that fact. I will admit that. Not everybody knows it. Some people are freaking blind to that fact. Because these people are obviously deranged when you look at the facts. Most of the people refuse to look at the facts. If they don't like Trump, they won't look at the facts. Right? They'll just be like, no, Trump was a fraud. He lied. Everybody lies. Letitia James lied. The notice requires Trump or the insurance company to demonstrate that the company is financially capable of paying the bond amount if Trump loses on appeal, and that the bond is appropriately collateralized. Defendants, or Knight, shall file a motion to justify the surety within 10 days of the service of this notice, failing which the bond shall be without effect, except that the surety shall remain liable on the bond until a new undertaking is given and allowed, state lawyers wrote in the filings. So basically, they're telling this insurance company to prove it. They want to see financial records and make sure that they'd be able to just come out of pocket $175 million to give to the New York State, essentially. They're telling them to prove it. Show it to me. That blows my freaking mind. Of course, that's a lot of money, y'all. That's a whole lot of money. It's kind of understandable, but the fact that this whole case is just coming from way out in left field, doesn't make any sense logically, that's what really blows my freaking mind. That they're going to ask for an insane amount of money and then be like, no, we don't think that insurance company can handle that. What? Right? Go fuck yourself, lady. You can get screwed for all I care. This just, like I said, it blows my freaking mind. Judge Arthur Engeron, who oversaw the fraud trial, ruled earlier this year that Trump, his businesses, and top executives conspired to alter Trump's net worth for tax and insurance benefits. He ordered them to pay $464 million plus interest, in addition to several other penalties. Trump was ordered to post a $175 million bond in the case after he told a New York appeals court that it would be impossible to secure a bond in the full amount of Engeron's judgment, namely because sureties refused to accept his real estate as collateral. The bond from the Knight Specialty Insurance Company automatically bars New York Attorney General Letitia James from collecting the multi-million-dollar judgment against Trump and pauses other penalties. Oh, that's what it is right there. Now we got it. It says you can't touch this yet. Yep. Engeron scheduled a hearing for April 22nd to discuss the matter, which is expected to be 1 week into Trump's criminal trial in Manhattan. The New York Attorney General's office separately asked Engeron on Thursday to direct the independent monitor he appointed to oversee the Trump Organization's business dealings, one of the penalties he imposed, to investigate whether the defense withheld relevant and responsive information during the trial. God dang, man. The issue came to state lawyers' attention after ex-Trump Organization Chief Financial Officer Alan Weisselberg pleaded guilty last month to perjury charges linked to the fraud trial. As part of his plea deal, Weisselberg concealed that he lied during depositions ahead of the trial and during his testimony. Cited in the evidence for the deal was an email exchange between Weisselberg and a Trump Organization employee where the correct size of the former president's Trump Tower triplex, a key piece of evidence at trial, was confirmed to the ex-CFO. State lawyer Kevin Wallace purported that exchange was never turned over by the defense. Wallace asked the judge to task the monitor with determining whether the defense had the exchange in its possession, whether it was turned over to the state during discovery, and if it was not, why. He asked the judge to give the monitor 2 weeks to investigate. That was another thing that they were talking about, the size of Trump Tower triplex. He gave like 30,000 square feet, and then the investigators came up with 10,000 square feet. Well, hang on. Anybody that knows anything about real estate or buying a house knows that there is two different numbers for square footage of houses, right? Of residential areas. As a matter of fact, commercial real estate as well. There's two different. You have living and then you have overall. To me, that sounds like the overall was 30,000 square feet and the living space was only 10,000 square feet. So now we've got the judge conflating the two numbers, saying, no, they lied and they withheld this evidence. Give me a freaking break. This whole thing is outrageous, if you ask me, and blow your freaking mind right off the backside of your head, right? Instead of coming out of the top like it's supposed to, it blows out the backside. Because these people are freaking insane. They're just communists trying to take over the country, and this is one of their steps to doing that. Take down a billionaire. Take down Donald Trump by any means necessary. Who cares if we got to lie, cheat, and steal to do it? Let's get it done. And everybody up there seems to be going along with it, just running guard. The mainstream narrative machine is outright lying to everybody about it. They go ahead and leave out key facts and details of this situation to make it seem like, oh yeah, Trump was a bad man for saying that, hey, this is what my net worth is, but check it out yourself. Blows my freaking mind. Trying to get a loan, right? It just absolutely nuts. They're going after him for nothing. I mean, just look at all the other indictments. Right? Some BS. They're trying to indict him on something he was already acquitted for, which there should be double jeopardy on the January 6th stuff. Right? Speaking of, they just convicted that damn January 6th praying grandma, right? This lady that entered the Capitol on January 6th didn't hurt nobody, right? Just walked in, was in there for like 10 minutes and then left. Got charged. 4 different misdemeanors. Blow your freaking mind. Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman, who was followed around pretty much the entire time he was at the Capitol, was let in by police. The police escorted him all over the damn place. And yet he sat in jail for almost 2 years. And these people, then they want to go after Donald Trump for saying he wants to release the January 6 hostages. Right? And these people will get on the mainstream news and be like, well, he's wanting to release all the rioters. No, that's not who he's talking about. Listen to the clip once again. Don't take what he says out of context. He says all the nonviolent January 6th hostages will be let out of prison because there was hundreds of January 6th protesters that were at the Capitol that some of them didn't even go into the Capitol. They got arrested and they sat in jail. Got charged. Just nuts what this left-wing administration is doing. The Biden administration is just going way too far, and he can't get out of office soon enough, y'all. We've got to do something about this out-of-control government, but I'm not wanting to get into the weeds on that. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this story down in the comment section. Do you think that Letitia James is just coming up with more BS, like trying to say, oh, well, we're not sure that they can actually post that bond or go through with it? You know, do they have that much money? Just blow your freaking mind. They give an insane judgment and then be like, when he actually gets the bond, act like the insurance company isn't going to be able to handle it. It's one thing after another with these people. Just insanity after insanity after insanity. Just blow your freaking mind. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. You guys are the best. And y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.